Alright, so we're doing the review for Resident Evil 1. Um, Initial thoughts, whilst this is a very old game, I did quite enjoy it. Be quiet. Let's have a look. See, you've got all these settings are pretty good because, you mess around. If you don't enjoy the settings or your computer's lagging, you can mess around with it and actively change it. This intro is pretty cool. Hold on. That was pretty. I did enjoy that intro. This I didn't realize this at first, but this is actually a difficulty setting. Doesn't really change the outcome of the game that much. If you play as Jill, it's an easier game mode. Yeah, and you get a lot more item slots, more weapons. You don't need the small keys, which is actually pretty cool. You just get a lockpick. Then you have Chris, which is just harder. I picked Chris just because this intro is interesting. I picked Chris because I've never actually played as Chris in any other Resident Evil game. Prior to recording this, the very first Resident Evil game I played was Resident Evil 7, which still to this day is my favorite Resident Evil game. I played 7, 8, the remake of 2, and 3. So yeah, I've already played as Jill's character. I will probably record the remakes. I have Resident Evil 7 and 8 on my channel. But yeah. So far for Chris's character, he seems like a bit of a practical joker, but also like not too much of a macho dude, like trying to make everyone safe and whilst also doing his job, which is cool. I did like Chris's character. Wesker's character is a bit interesting add-in. I'm also confused how they added, I do like this intro, showing, instead of like animation, it was actual, like real life, live action. The cast action was pretty cool. Chris Redfield. Got Jill. You had these people acting, this is pretty cool. Barry is in Jill's part. He's not shown. Rebecca is in Chris's part. So, if you take Jill's path, Jill has Barry as a side character, whereas Chris has Rebecca as a side character. And then Albert Wesker is just an overall villain. That's it. The cutscenes were pretty interesting. The choice of weapons were interesting at points as well. But yeah. What else do I add on? The certain areas they had, the mansion, the courtyard, what was it called? Guardhouse. I think Guardhouse or Greenhouse, something like that. Yeah. Greenhouse, and they had the basement of the mansion. Basement of the mansion wasn't really long. And then they had the caves in the laboratory, which is pretty interesting. As for the bosses, they were a bit confusing at first. Like, for example, the first Yawn encounter was a bit annoying because my character kept getting stuck at that point. But what I mean by getting stuck is Yawn would... I'll just show you. Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, I believe it's up here. So, bro. Where did I put myself? So you would go into this room, through the door, and this is the first encounter. This is the first encounter I'm talking about. So we have The snake, yeah, and it would add a poison. So the longer this fight dragged on, you couldn't kill the snake in the first encounter. The longer the fight dragged on, the worse you would be. So run down that corridor, and you got to get that little emblem because you need it for a later puzzle. But you also need to get past this area to progress the story. Now here's the issue. Watch. You can't get past him because his body, it has, what do they call it? I think collision physics. See, so you can't just move past him. And if I went back here, which is the bad thing about this. See, he's now powered me into a corner, so I actively can't escape. So yeah, that was a bit annoying to get past, and I couldn't really do anything because you can't kill him in this encounter. And it's not like, I don't think it's like in the remake of Resident Evil 2 where you would shoot Mr. X a bunch of times and then he just stops for a few seconds. No, see? You can see I'm stuck and I'm dead in this encounter, I believe. Yep, which is a bit annoying, but can't really do nothing about it. What else do we have? For the next boss, it was Plant 42, I believe. So this initially was a bit annoying. Wait, hold on. So this isn't the part, but Plant 42 has this issue where, you know, every time you gotta get past a certain point, he'll just grab you. And he will drain your health. So yeah, with Rebecca's parts where you have to cut it in place, so actually pretty interesting. Plant 42. Let me just get to him. Where is he at? Well, yeah, I forgot about this. I headed back to the here it is. So this boss was hard, but it was pretty simple once you learn the mechanics. So you just move around, and those white things that would fall from the sky would be indications of something about to fall down and hit you. See that big puff of cloud or whatever. So yeah, pretty standard boss fight and pretty simple and fun. The second encounter with Yawn, it was alright. You would just run, shoot him, run until he was dead. And that's pretty much it. And you don't see him anymore. So yeah. Getting the Colt Python is interesting. Dealing with the basement's alright. What I don't like is these hunters. They are so annoying. They're not like zombies, but they work like them. What I mean by that is, in the early parts of the game, zombies are littered all over the mansion, which is fine. They're slow, you can get around them in most parts of the mansion. And if you play your cards right, you barely get any ammo wasted. But the issue with hunters is they are twice as strong as zombies. The handgun does basically nothing. They go down in only 3 shotgun shots at point blank range. And they have this stupid one-shot move where they can just one-tap you, and it's not fair, and they're littered everywhere like zombies. I would be fine if it was 1 or 2 of them in the room. That's fine if you want to make the game a little more difficult. But I just don't find it fair how they're littered everywhere like the zombies. What's next? But yeah, eventually you learn the mechanics, and if you play your cards right, you have to only shoot. You only kill some of them, and you can keep some alive, so you don't have to waste ammo. This part was interesting, hinting that there was a double cross at the stars, and you could hear the shot, and then the person runs away. Yes, I did enjoy that, the setting up the plot just was smart, and then you can actively take his bullets, which is cool. This next part is what I don't like. Look at this. They placed not one, but two at once. Wait, hold on. Why doesn't this shot work? I literally shot 2 times. It did nothing. What? Look, this is something annoying. See, they can soft lock you. If they both start tapping you, you get instantly soft lock and lose a bunch of health. See how annoying that is? So yeah, it did take me a while to get past this, but I did eventually get past it. Forgot to speak about this, but the boss fight before this room, the snake boss, that was actually, one of my preferable boss fights, because I do like, not like I fought it or anything, I do like how it runs where you don't actually have to kill it, but you can if you want. Because for me, I just slashed the webs off the door and got free. Of course, the boss is there if you want to go ahead and kill it, but you don't have to. The laboratory, why is it lagging? Hold on. Alright, I think I sorted out my Wi-Fi. The quality is not the best. The bring back of zombies makes sense, because, this is Umbrella's facility where it all went down. They failed everything. Where should I pick off? The showcasing of Umbrella is actually pretty cool. They have a slideshow at some point that they give you, which it actually puts Wesker in the slideshow, which I like. Yeah, so learning about different stuff is interesting, and then getting Jill at the end is actually pretty cool. Hold on. Alright, so yeah, we have this. They added at the end. They added a cool new enemy type that was interesting and easy to deal with. So that was cool. This. Go up the elevator and meet Wesker. He tries to shoot Rebecca, but she has a bulletproof vest on, so nothing happens. Then he gets you to meet this bioweapon of some sort, I think. Yeah, then you have to fight, but I was heavily underpowered here, as you can tell. So I just went back, got all my Python ammo, and then before I checked that, I did the little encoder sequence. And you see Jill here. At which you just go back, fight the boss. Yeah, he went down in quite a few shots. Then you go get Jill and escape with Rebecca and Jill. At which point, the timer starts. You gotta hurry up and kill the tyrant though, but he's much stronger because he has that running move, but he doesn't deal much damage, which is good. So if you have a healing thing or two, you'll be fine. You got the rocket launcher. The multi replay though is funny. I like that. and then you escape. The game is hard, yes, but the overall story is actually very enjoyable. I do enjoy it. Yeah. There's also a key which you can get, which leads to the closet. You open the closet, and there's just a bunch of different uniforms you can put on. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, and if you want to see more, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the game with me, and see ya.